You're listening to Technomics, connecting you to insights on digital transformation and the marketplace, with your hosts Robin Ituli and Jeremy Nilsson. The hosts' opinions are their own. Enjoy the show.
Jeremy, it's so good to see you back in the saddle.
I know. I have missed my spot here on Technomics.
Well, Mike Gaumond kept it warm for you for our case study episode, which was another great one. We talked about beer, furniture, and healthcare, three things which naturally go together.
Absolutely. Everyone's got it.
Yeah, they do.
You know.
Some interesting stories about how technology is changing the workforce. And funny because, of course, we got back to clients. But the really great thing is that we also got to some of the behind-the-scenes stuff to help lead us into season 3, which is coming soon.
Oh, spoiler alert.
And it's
you
going to
gotta
be,
let people know.
It's going to be your domain in season 3, I think.
What's season 3? Can you give me a hint?
Well, no, you have to wait till you get there.
Oh, man.
Are
we there yet?
Finish this
Are we
episode
there
yet. 14 more gas stations. Coming up next, Mike Gaumond, great stories about beer, furniture, and healthcare. Next on Technomics.
One of my favorite people to listen to. I can't wait. We all have them, we all need them, and every business wants them. Blue Metal can take your dynamic CRM to the next level, allowing you to understand the full life cycle and state of a customer from a lead in its infancy all the way through to product delivery and ensuring the highest possible quality of service all along the way. Your CRM system is vital to your sales process and, more importantly, your business growth. But your dynamic CRM is more than just a sales tool. Think of how important customer insights are to your marketing teams, customer service teams, public relations, social media, and the list goes on. Let Blue Metal take your dynamic CRM to the next level with full lifecycle customer relationship management, enabling you to attract and retain customers, define and improve sales processes, offer consistent interaction across all sales and service channels with a 360-degree view of customer interactions, ubiquitous access, and mobile platforms. And not only that, Blue Metal's connected field services allows for proactive service delivery and real-time insights as to how and when your customers are using your products, improved service levels, and you can even leverage Internet of Things-based telemetry, metrics, and predictive analytics to proactively schedule a maintenance event. To learn more, visit insight.com/bluemetalcrm.
This season, we've been talking about workforce enablement, and it's something those of us who are in a profession of any kind feel very near and dear to, because it's our employers trying to help make our lives just a little bit easier via technology, of course. And so to bring it all together for us, we have arguably our most favorite guest, Mr. Mike Gaumond, who is joining us to talk about some of the ways that we've actually been helping real-life clients to make workforce enablement a real thing for the people in those organizations. Mike, welcome back.
Thanks for having me again, Robin. Great to be here.
You have a real passion for doing the storytelling around what we've been able to achieve for our clients. And when it comes to workforce enablement, that's probably a place we have some of the most tangible stories, because we're actually helping our clients run smarter. And they feel it for themselves, not just in the sales numbers, but every day when they come through the doors, or perhaps don't even have to. So I wanted to dig into a couple of the tales from the trail that have really resonated with you in the work we're doing for workforce enablement.
Happy to share them. Where do you want to start?
How about beer?
One of my favorite topics of all time.
I know this about you, which is why it was first on the list. So let's talk about a very significant beer company who has been doing more than popping tabs and tapping kegs.
Absolutely. So one of the largest brewers is a great client of ours, and they are a global company. So they have about 9 business units around the world, which adds, as you can imagine, quite a bit of complexity when you think about the workforce and everybody from brewmasters to sales and marketing people to business executives all over the world. They also do quite a few acquisitions. So they acquire a lot of other breweries, and that's part of how they've grown to the scale that they are. And what was interesting is we started working with them when we talked to them about their workforce and what was holding back the productivity of their workforce. What we found was that through global growth and through acquisitions, they had actually implemented a pretty broad set of different kinds of communication and collaboration technologies, which is interesting. They get to experiment with all that, but most of them didn't actually work with each other. So it sort of defeated the purpose. The employees couldn't actually collaborate very effectively because they were all using different tool sets. So they faced a pretty big challenge, and what we actually did was go in and help them architect and build and deploy a solution. And we leveraged the best of breed of 2 of our biggest partners, Microsoft and Cisco, to create a truly integrated and truly global communication and collaboration platform for their workforce. So now you could picture a brewmaster with a tablet working in a brewery, and you could picture a sales executive at one of their distributors or a corporate executive at headquarters, all collaborating, even though one's in a brewery on a tablet, one's at a client on a notebook, one's at corporate headquarters on a desktop, all working off the same information and collaborating on solving a problem together.
A single source of truth, although I believe the Latin saying is that in wine there is truth, but this client managed to find that there is a single source of communication and collaboration truth in beer.
Yes.
And Microsoft and Cisco.
Yes, yeah. Beer helps you get to the bottom of a lot of truths.
There's so many great metaphors in this first case study. I love it. One thing that's interesting that you brought up is the collaboration with distributors and, some of these outside entities that work hand in hand with that organization. How did the collaboration effect extend to that entire ecosystem?
I think that's a great question. We see a lot of our customers actually extending collaboration beyond the borders of their company. So yes, it's cross-functional and cross-geography within a company, but they extend it to their partners, whether that's distributors or manufacturing partners or design partners, whomever they work with. And again, same concept. If I get everybody working off the same sheet of music, if you will.
Harmony.
What happens is productivity goes up. People are able to collaborate more effectively and come to decisions, solve problems, meet the needs of their clients more quickly than they could in the past. We're also seeing it, I think we talked in one of the prior episodes about the millennials in the workforce. And the millennials have grown up expecting to use these kinds of technologies. And so you can not only improve productivity, but in many cases you can actually make the employees happier about the work they're doing by giving them better tools and technology and actually increase retention of your workforce at the same time.
Yeah, and that's true whether or not you're selling beer, which seems like another easy sell when you're trying to recruit for some of those roles, especially out of college campuses, perhaps.
I think that's my next career, is a microbrewery.
I believe that. So, Mike, we know that you are a pretty savvy business guy. So in addition to being a sophisticated brewmaster, we're going to go ahead and assume that you'll have a very successful brewery, and perhaps you'll do some investing and trading with the piles and piles of cash that you'll be making. So it takes me to another case study about a financial services company that wanted to help their team be more effective in trading for their clients.
Absolutely. So we worked with one of the largest banks based out of New York City, and so they manage investments on behalf of their clients. And one of the things they want to do is protect those investments against fluctuations in currency and foreign currency when they're investing in multiple different markets around the world. So they actually have a dedicated foreign currency trading desk whose job is, the traders there, their job is to understand the different movements and potential movements of foreign currencies and buy and sell foreign currencies, not so much to make money on the currencies, but to protect the core investments of their clients against foreign currency movement that could adversely impact the returns on their investment. And the challenge they had was that their currency traders were not getting accurate, timely, or usable data to help inform their decisions about which currencies were moving in which direction and whether they should buy or sell or hedge, how they should hedge their investments. So what we did through our Blue Metal team was actually create a currency trading dashboard and give them real-time analytics and visibility into information such as the volume of currency trades over time, the distribution of those trades across different currency trading channels, as well as, of course, the exchange rates that they were trading at. And we put it into a highly visual, very intuitive dashboard that a currency trader could look at very, very quickly to determine what types of moves they should make in which different currencies. And it's pretty exciting. By implementing this, the traders not only did faster, more profitable currency trades, but they also did, in fact, mitigate the risk of the core investment portfolios of their clients, which was the whole business goal that they started with.
That data visualization is such a big focus for companies because they've got spreadsheet after spreadsheet with thousands and thousands of lines on it, and making sense of it isn't a matter of pivoting tables. It's putting it into a really fast, digestible mechanism. And this example really highlights that. You know, if you're trading in real time, you don't have the luxury of scrolling for even 100 lines. You need to be able to make a correlation and a decision really, really quickly.
Exactly. And the trick here that you alluded to was, number one, you have to make the information available in near real time because currency movements happen very, very quickly. And if you're a financial institution that has billions of dollars of assets under management, a very, very small percentage change, 1 basis point change could cost you tens of millions of dollars in that currency. So you have to be able to do this in near real time. And then secondly, to your point, you can't just spew a whole bunch of numbers in front of a currency trader that they can't interpret quickly. So it's visualizing that data in a way that a currency trader could look at it and in an instant, you know, the way a pilot might look at the key indicators on their cockpit and make a decision right then and there as to whether to buy or sell and how much of which different currencies.
A really interesting application of synthesizing big data. Don't go away. We have some more on Technomics coming at you in just a minute. Data is a pretty powerful thing today. And Jeremy, I need some of your opinion on this. How are you seeing data transforming the way that businesses are operating?
If you're a regular listener to Technomics, I don't think that's going to be a secret. We've done a lot of conversations with developers that focus on Internet of Things and big data and just the way that that is used to help drive business forward. Data is at the heart of all of it.
It's a real game changer, not just for businesses, but for the entire world that we live in. And one company that has always been a big player here is Microsoft.
Absolutely. I mean, some of the very first database experiences and or just data-centric experiences I can remember in my career have been around Microsoft products.
So they're introducing Microsoft SQL Server 2016. SQL Server 2016 is a data analytics platform with features and lots of enhancements that are delivering breakthrough performance that are helping companies to advance their security and rich integrated reporting and analytics that helps them run smarter.
Absolutely. And I think you can't ever, one of the big topics that we've talked about here in Technomics as well has been security. And with the release of SQL 2016, there are definitely some significant advancements in security features there too.
Yeah, it's the least vulnerable database that protects data at the rest and in motion with new always encrypted technology. So good.
That's a good thing, especially as, as people are moving more towards cloud-based databases, right? And we're leveraging the cloud and making sure that we have everything secured and locked down in that slightly public space is obviously a very, very good thing.
Not only that, it's in database advanced analytics, operationalize data using services in real time, which we know from other conversations has been incredibly important for businesses to help transform by understanding what's happening in that minute. And last but not least, from on-premise to cloud, there's a consistent experience across server and database as a service, which is super, super important as people are making that transition to hybrid.
And if you're interested in learning a bit more about Insight and how Microsoft SQL can work for you, visit insight.com/SQL server to talk to an Insight specialist. That's insight.com/SQL server.
Going in a completely different direction here, I want to talk about a point of sale system that we worked on for a consumer furniture business. That's a really interesting environment where you're not plucking something off the shelf in a lot of instances there. You might be sitting on the couch and want to buy said couch, and there's no hauling that until it's coming through your door. So talk to me a little bit about how we were able to impact the sales environment, both for the workforce and, there's an obvious extension to the consumer on this one.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And this was a home products and furnishings retailer that has several hundred stores across the United States. And they do sell things like furniture, like couches and chairs and dining room tables. They also sell things like, spatulas and little things. And I think one of the first places they saw the problem was someone that might go in. Let's say I walked into the store and I was just going to buy a couple of spatulas. And I look and I see the checkout line, there's 5 people in line. I'm not waiting for 5 people to check out. I'm putting the spatulas back and I leave. So they have not only a lost sale, albeit maybe a small one, but they have a not very happy customer, which is not where they want to be. So we actually help them develop a mobile point of sale solution that their store associates can carry with them on a tablet throughout the store and check out something simple like I'm buying 3 spatulas and a cookbook in the aisle. We have the ability to integrate it with their inventory system so that they know if the inventory is in front or in the back of the store. They know the pricing. They can take the customer's credit card. It's integrated with the store point of sale system so that at the end of the day, of course, they need to be able to count up all the sales. It can't just be on the mobile. It's also integrated with third-party payment processing so they can actually charge the credit card. So it's made the store associate actually much more productive. Instead of having to try to run to the back room or call somebody to find out if they have inventory or usher a customer up to the counter, it's also made the customer experience much better. So they're avoiding the lost sales and improving the customer experience. And in fact, I had the opportunity, my wife and I were buying a couch at that store, and the sales associate had the tablet on her arm.
You guys have good taste, I'm just saying.
She has good taste. I just follow along and do as I'm told. The sales associate had the tablet on a bracket on her arm, on a little adapter on her arm. She was able to tell us which versions of the couch they had in stock versus if it needed to be ordered, what the lead time was to order it, where it would be shipped from, how much it was, and different fabric selections, all of those things in real time. Show us pictures, show us different options for the configuration. We made the decision, did the buy, clicked, paid for it right then and there, never left the couch in order to complete the sale. And then, of course, I proceeded to ask her about 34 questions about the application and how it worked and whether she liked it. And it was quite interesting. She was a little puzzled why I was more interested in that than the couch.
Did she feel enabled?
She actually loved it. She said being able to address a client's questions real time while they're there, being able to check availability of products, being able to know things like lead time, ship times, cost of different fabrics or configuration options at the click of her finger. The only negative she had to say was that it was on a little brace on her arm, and she said it gets heavy if I'm wearing this all day. But that wasn't the application. The application's very light.
The applicant, well played, sir. Ergonomics opportunity I see in there. Well, that's wonderful. I mean, gosh, how satisfying too to be able to see the team's work firsthand and be able to experience from the client side, right? I mean, we ultimately want to help businesses run smarter, and in so many ways we're lucky because a lot of the clients we get to help out are we're their customers too. So it's lovely when the table flips and we see that the hard work that our talented teammates are putting in is truly delightful.
It really is. I mean, it was a great experience for her as a store associate working there, and it was a great experience for us as customers, much easier than what would have typically happened.
Well, from the couch to a decidedly different environment, and that is for a healthcare system in the New England area. We did quite a bit of work there on a staffing app. So what's the story behind that?
So it's a really interesting story. It's a healthcare system in the Northeast that has multiple hospitals and clinics and doctors' offices. And one of the challenges that they faced was staffing the right different disciplines of nursing at the right hospital, clinic, or doctor's office at the right time based on what was happening. And what they had historically done was pretty manual, and they would figure it out very, very near real time and then say, we need more pediatric nurses over here or more ER nurses over there. And they're trying to react and pull people in off of vacation to do the staffing. So what we actually did was help them with analytics-enabled staffing. So we did analytics and looked at admission rates, check-in rates, procedures, medical procedure rates, all different kinds of factors to determine what would actually drove the demand for the different nursing disciplines in the different locations, and came up with staffing algorithms so that they could much more effectively have the right types of nurses at the right facility at the right time to optimize the care they needed to provide. So it actually made life better for the nurses because they knew further in advance where they needed to be, and they were less likely to get called in off of break or vacation in an emergency. It also was a better experience for the patients because if you have the right skilled care there, you're going to have a better health outcome. And obviously that's what, if you're a patient in the healthcare system, that's your primary goal.
So some very cool stories here. I want to take a different take on things because as we come to the close on the workforce enablement season, I think there's a real opportunity to talk about what's possible. It's something that we hear from our leadership team all the time, looking forward to that next horizon and imagining just what might be out there. And it might seem outlandish, but the last time something seemed outlandish, gosh, that was the next thing that Forrester and Gartner and IDC were predicting would be the big thing. So what do you see up ahead for enabling the workforce that really, really is exciting?
I think it's taking some of the kind of real-time analytics that we talked about and putting it on steroids, if you will. So right now, and this kind of plays into the whole Internet of Things world, and that's broadly used and probably overused term right now. But if you think about many things will have some kind of sensor built into them, whether that's reading water temperature or pressure, or reading the volume of events that are flowing through a manufacturing line, or almost anything you could conceive of could have a sensor on it. And then gathering that information, feeding it back, providing some analytics. But I think the interesting and the disruptive part of that is, can you add some intelligence to that mountain slide of data and make sense out of it for a client, and then deliver it again in near real time, so that I can influence a business decision that someone in the workforce is making in near real time. I think that's what's going to get really, really interesting. Historically, people looked at the last 6 months worth of data and tried to project what was going to happen in the next 6 months, and tried to make purchase decisions or marketing decisions or product development decisions based on that. Well, now you can start to envision, I'm not going to look at 6 months worth of history. I'm going to look at 60 seconds worth of history. It's the last 60 seconds. And I'm going to make a decision right now based on what's going to happen for the next 60 seconds. To me, I think that is going to be pretty interesting and very, very transformative for the way companies work and the way workforces are enabled in the future.
You gave me such a perfect tee up for just doing a little bit of teasing around what's coming next on Technomics. And if you think about the kinds of data and the amount of information that is required to be transmitted to deliver that minute by minute real-time information to the workforce to help serve a more demanding customer who will require that real time to be engaged as well, it ultimately is going to come back to your infrastructure being optimized.
Absolutely. If you don't have an infrastructure in place that enables you to gather, protect, analyze, and then somehow share that information, you're not going to succeed in the new world.
Well, that is a great lead for some of the exciting conversations that we're going to be having in season 3 of Technomics. And we'll be taking a much deeper dive on a lot of topics around infrastructure optimization. But so excited to, again, have the opportunity to chat with you, Mike, about the amazing work that we're able to do to transform patient engagement and the retail experience and crazy currency trades and beer.
Don't forget the beer consumption.
Best for last, right? So I lift my pint to you and thank you for your time with us on Technomics.
Thanks, Robin. Great to be back.
Thanks for listening to Technomics. If you want to find more episodes, you can download the podcast from iTunes, Google, or your favorite podcast provider. And for more stories on intelligent technology, visit insight.com.